Right, we are back with another episode of Survivors of Tarnstead. We're going to start with our usual manner of introduction. First up, we have Blackheart as.
Eric Marshk.
We have Kronos as.
RG Lira.
We have Hadden as.
Telda.
We have Marcus as.
Clovis Adelas.
We have Sammy as.
Gifton Background Greysteel.
We have Tobias as.
SVP is still shot.
You have me, Yuli's friendly DM. I am a little unwell, so my voice isn't going to be great, but we're going to truck on ahead, and I'm going to ask who would like to do the recap.
I do.
I'll do it. Oh.
Oh, a fight.
You can do it, Sammy.
Do you not want me to do it, Hat Dan? Because I guess I don't have to. If you want the
You can
card.
do it. It's alright. I don't use cards often enough.
Okay, because I prepared last week, as you recall.
Yep, so did I.
I could do my last week of game, but it's not going to be anything to do with the game.
No.
We didn't play that week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Did it? Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It was the week before last.
Anyway. Yeah, Hat Dan, if you want to do it, you can do it.
Alright,
I'm
fine.
just getting this out of my system, though.
Last time on Survivors of Tarnstead, tragedy struck the hearts of the good people of Sahara as the insidious Rezio introduced its populace to spicy chicken feet.
All right, I'm done.
Okay. Also, we do not condone the use and exploitation of AI bots to steal actors' voices. Just putting that out there. But we wanted the Clone Wars.
But we want the Clone Wars, and we are not skilled. All right, actual recap time.
Alright, I accidentally scrolled up. No, alright.
This saves me having to load 10 different sound files to play this, because that's how this works.
My favorite part is how it mispronounces words.
Yes.
Alright, last time, the party returned to Heia's chamber, where she revealed that she's going to be banning Amorian angels from the city. There was some brief concern that would interfere with Lutheran Archount's ceremony, but that's going to be held outside the city anyways. She also announced a new spot for Traveler to be located, which is a structure housing, essentially, that's being set up. And so Traveler's set up and is physically moved by a builder rather than actually traveling. Lucifer, who was with us, took off to do some investigating. Corvus went and got some reagents, specifically diamond dust. Carrick and Gifton went and talked with the builder and told it all about Sphinx nonsense. That's how it interpreted it. Learned it's related to a lot of others. The people who have been held in Traveler against their will, I assume, are now allowed to wander out, check out the city. But the party decides maybe we should do that sleep thing that Corvus and others kept saying we should probably do. Gifton and family slept in, I'm fairly sure it was like her house outside. The others slept inside Traveler because it creates convenient accommodations. While Telday was in sentry mode, he learned information about alternate or future Warforged technology, including for charging and other mechanics, even organic bodies that they could return to the Fae. Warforged sometimes give up their life to be reborn. Other things as well. Corvus is woken comedically by Traveler. I believe it was water to the face. Used the time that he got up early so that he could study Abaddon's Archangel Blade and another Angel Blade. Took a rubbing of the inscriptions and tried to attune to the Archangel Blade, but it did nothing. And that was the end of his being up earlier than everybody else. Because somebody wanted to mess with Gifton, some fake bacon smell causes brief chaos in her household. Gifting Carrick and Raziel end up being shown to a special alcove in that structure that if you put your hand up, it can make whatever food you're thinking of. Although it does not give you plates or cutlery or anything, so you got to supply that yourself. It's actually divinely blessed by Hea. That is the source of the power. Party gathered in the structure, had a brief talk with Luther, who asked for some funerary music for his goodbye event. Corvus then had a private conversation with Luther about being an Amorian cleric, maybe, and asking about Amor wanting Corvus to die previously. Was advised that Amor may have seen that as a blessing since he's a god of death, or maybe he's just, fallible. And hey, doesn't mean he's perfect. Corvus also asked why an Amorian angel, Puriel, would be trying to kill someone, told vengeance would be blasphemous, but, they do have free will, even if they are very, very, very loyal. Corvus suggests there should be safeguards to prevent that kind of thing, which I guess means no free will for angels. Gifton then wonders Puriel's trying to kill Millie or threatening Cassie is a kindness because of the god thing. Wonders also if this might just actually be an attempt to try and get Michael to show up, get Cassie to call for a parent. And then Gifton talked to Corvus about her future plans, or talked to the group, and Corvus expressed concerns about that, but she assured him that she'll be fine. I'm sorry, this is really detailed. Do you want me to just speed up the rest of this? Okay, Telde has a conversation with Luther, learns a lot about his background, how he grew up, all that sort of thing. Pastor Raziel arrives to speak with Gifted and Raz and Co., joined by Rick Beale, who can now be understood by everybody due to Traveler. Rick Beale is promptly harassed by Gifton's children. There is a lot of cake in places that we don't really know how you get cake into that part of Rick Beale. Raz also mentions that the gods will likely be calling on the party in a couple hours. There's some more food shenanigans, as referenced in our special pre-roll, about spicy chicken feet. Also, some discussion about living as a brownie in Tarnstead. Tilde goes and meets with Harcount, learns about his life a bit, how Harcount feels about things, and how he doesn't want to be remembered, but if he is going to be, Pierce Powell. Tilde returned to see Rick Beale covered in cake, as aforementioned. Party decides to go get some furniture. Specifically, Gifton wants to go get furniture because she's going to be living here in the past, and there's none in that structure. They ended up finding Talal in Knoll form, being harassed by two Knoll women who really think he's hot. They end up leaving after interacting with Gifton. We start to go do some shopping, and then Hevos's prime Farrell shows up, and we're about to go see the gods.
Okay, very nice. Go ahead and take yourself a heroic inspiration.
Oh, look. Just like Hat Dan.
So heroic. Right. And we are going to pick up where we had left off. Toby, you won't be in this immediate thing because, for your information, Cassie and Millie are being babysat by Hea currently.
That I've heard.
Yeah. So you will be jumping in when they arrive. Right. Yes, you are all whisked off through angelic travel. Landing in a small circular room. No doors, no windows. The room seems to be lit from no obvious source. It's just there's ambient light here. The angel departs just about the moment it lands with you all. There's no guidance or anything. You are just left in this stone chamber that's about 20 feet across, in all directions, circular.
Kind of glance around a little bit.
Have we been in one like this?
No, not really.
before? Okay.
Your usual being brought to the gods tends to land you in what feels like a more traditional entranceway.
We're put in the waiting room.
And Raz looks around, sort of semi-curiously himself. Well, things should happen when they're ready, I suppose. Always been whisked away to a very clever trap.
So, what is our plan?
I'm gonna take off my ring after saying dingus down, give him a good pat. I go, well, we're gonna make good introductions and we're gonna try and talk it through as much as we need to. Otherwise, we just need to be good little mortals and not offend the gods that don't know us yet. We just need to make sure that we understand we're not in control of the conversation. They're gonna ask us things, we answer. We let them guide what happens like they're supposed to, I guess. I mean,
Everything's up for telling.
of course.
About what's
I
going on?
mean, yeah. I'd
if
say
I'm
so,
in
but I
before.
think it's appropriate to remember that we shouldn't be throwing blame around.
Yes.
We shouldn't be making accusations because none of those things have happened and no one is guilty right now of anything. So we're only trying to very diplomatically explain that there is a path that things can go down that is very bad and we don't want it to happen. And that's what we should do. I want to try and talk on behalf of the angels like I promised. She frowns. But I don't know how that's going to work or if this is the right time.
As you say that, you hear a sort of booming voice echoing around you, just going, well, seems all that you say is true in your heart at least, as the stone walls around you start to lower. And, revealing, for those that are facing in the correct direction, for some of you, you might just be looking at more distant walls. But for those that are looking the right way, which most of you will quickly adjust, there is an immense dragon. Probably twice the size of the large dragons you've seen, which Lynn. Scales of gold and red flecking. A rather ornate set of jewelry covering head, horns, wings, anklets, claws. Seemingly alone, Morgani just sort of lounging on a large selection of cushions, staring at you all as those walls lower.
I am going to properly go down to the knees and do the appropriate bow down thing briefly.
Eric will
You
also.
will follow suit.
Yep, Eric will also.
Okay.
I will also go to my knee.
Anyone not?
Corvus doesn't go to the knee, he just kind of inclines.
Yeah, Gifton's doing both knees, by the way, not one. It's both. This is a god.
I usually just salute. This is extreme.
I know
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
extreme for you.
Her eyes settle on you briefly, Corvus. A sort of low rumble escaping her. Before travelling to the rest of the group and going, after a few moments, going, you may stand.
Gifton will stand and fix her dress, which, this dress isn't meant for this, but,
Eric will also stand.
Your friend has won you an audience, and I decided I have a right to see you all myself before the meeting begins. The others have agreed.
Of course, great goddess.
You wanted my attention. You have it. Speak.
Speak.
We are concerned for your well-being, and we would like to aid you with whatever information we have that might be useful for figuring out what might come to pass.
Yes.
I believe I have an idea of what happened, but it is broken bits put together from lots of not fully realized information, if that makes sense. No one could really say what happened because I think no one could say. I think they weren't allowed to talk about it. I don't know if this is true, and I apologize if this is offensive to say, but I believe you tried to bring back Wallasil, and that the madness of the Fae may have afflicted you.
Of course, the Fae would find ways around their pact with me.
I found out because of all the grief that we have been through, and it doesn't make sense how you act towards everything else in the world. My great goddess, you are beautiful and amazing, and everyone loves you as they should, and your dragons are amazing too. But you hate the Fae so much. And in your lands, from what we saw, what we experienced, your people made machines to tear up the Feywild and to grind up the souls of the Fae and to destroy them. And it, I think, was almost an obsession that was being driven, because at one point, a great airship was sent after a city we were at with the sole purpose of killing a Fey Lord that was being harbored there. Thousands and thousands of soldiers.
He just holds up a single claw. You speak of things that have not happened and that I do not believe. While I have a degree of disdain for your kind, as I have experienced words of flattery before from yours that led to nothing but treachery, I would not order such a degree of cruelty to be inflicted upon you. I have pondered barring your kind from my lands. Yes, that is it.
As I said, my great goddess, this is only what I believe is the possibility of what the madness could do to you that we experienced.
What?
And we have seen we mortals sometimes do not understand what the gods are directing us to do and carry out things that are not actually meant.
The strictures of your church teach the people of your lands, do not trust the Fae. Do not
That is
suffer
good
them.
guidance.
And your people go on to believe that the Fae are not people, and that we are just energy to be consumed. I do not
you
blame
bring
you.
proof of this?
I have a book on religion from my time, but I don't know if that's proof.
We do. Heck, I believe we actually have the research that was done on the columns with Faramir here.
Yes, the Faramirian people, they were a city of undead mages that dwelt on your continent.
I'm aware of the ones you've brought with you. You say you have
And
research. Where is it?
They would have it.
The one called Valda would know where it was brought with them.
None of you carry knowledge of it yourselves.
I carry what would be best known as secondhand.
Didn't you copy some of it in a crystal? You had a spell crystal and you copied all of it. All of Shaxan's notes. Didn't you?
Pull out the crystal. I did not copy all of them into it, but
I have Shaxan Scala's notes. I'm gonna put my ring back on and start going through my backpack, and I'm gonna start pulling out all of Shaxan's things.
Step forward and present them to me.
Carrick will step forward and bring his crystal out. I know I don't have everything in there, but I have some of the
I'll bring
major points.
One of you two would have Shax's crystal, and it would have that stuff on it.
I had Shaxan's stuff, so yeah, I'll drop all that off.
Right. She seems to pay particular attention to crystals. Sort of.
I'll drop off my little religion book that I have too.
Almost finding these crystals novel.
Is that brownie sized or human?
No, that was a human sized book. That's why I had to go human sized to do this, because I had to get shit out of my bags.
The most delicate holding of these, small crystals you've ever seen. These gigantic claws with tiny tips to them, which you must imagine must be so sharp. Just gently pinching, lifting up. She seems to be reading them somehow. Not surprising considering her domain. It's a little concerning, the fact that she is acquiring this knowledge, but she just sets them back down once she's done. And slowly nods her head and goes, "This does lead credence to your claims. There's no reason these mechanisms and spellwork wouldn't work as you say they do. They must exist in some form, when. Nor can I see any obvious spellwork wrote upon my brethren. I suspected perhaps you had come up with some way to affect them, and her teeth bare for a moment, as I believe Oberon and Titania have affected me."
We tried to never force anyone or take control over anyone.
Oh. You have come to reveal the treacherous methods they used, yes?
Get ass out of character, because I don't want to get confused. She's talking about
what Oberon and Titania did.
I wanted to make sure before
I don't know if they actually did anything treacherous to you.
They stopped our plan from working, and they have left an affliction on me. I can feel it.
I don't know what your plan was when
you spoke it yourself. You know what we were trying to do.
I don't know how you were trying to do it. I just know that I purified the body of the fallen goddess Lalasil in my time, and I felt her heaven come back, and I saw her, and you were already mad when that happened.
You purified her.
Yes, they sacrificed so many of my people to the pit. The mortal fae that Oberon made. He cut us off of the fae, and then when Hea was imprisoned for lashing out at you, because in this time she would, Miris would nudge her to think that you were attacking her, and she would lash out, and the gods would put her in prison. And then when that prison needed to be opened, those who followed her would sacrifice my people into the pit. There was a great digging to find the way down to Halalasil, and they would send my little people down into the hole that had been made, and those that did not make it work ceased to be. And I lived. There was one other brownie like me at that time that carried divine light, but we were the only Fae like that. And I think it is because of what Oberon did to us. He hurt us to make it work. It was after Titania was dead. She died.
All of you can see how it's actually very hard to miss just because of her sheer scale. What would be a slight narrowing of her eyes is quite obvious to you all. And she just
her scale.
She just goes, they haven't broken their bond. I can feel it. You speak true. You know things that you can only know through experience.
I brought Dadriel back from the dead, and I found the spark of Lalasil, and that is what I bear into this world.
Bryce promised we made a pact amongst the three of us. First of its kind, a binding between such great beings. To bring her back, yes. Because how could I not? The knowledge I have compared to my brethren, I get out. No, I can. But I needed them. I needed those connected to her. Corrupted, certainly, but still containing her essence. Diluted, but there.
They made, I believe, pure essence again by what they did to us.
Titania wanted us to stop. Because we found that pain and suffering made that essence blossom.
And that is why Oberon did that to her people.
I don't pretend to know the motivations of your kind. All I know is when we tried some alternate methods, it went wrong. I bet she wove something into Lalasil's bones to stop us to affect me.
I think it was not something done to you on purpose. I think that is just the way of what you call our corruption. We are part of the world in a different way than you are. Much like your first dragons. They are part of the greater
Don't
world.
speak of my children. What do you know of them? What do you know of what was taken from me?
I do. I know that the egg of the magic dwells in the vault inside the Feywild. I know that the physical weeps for her children. I know the spiritual. They love so many people. And the mental. She is strong. And in her own way, sort of kind. I knew them. But they came back in those days that we experienced. They flew back. And I am sorry to say that in their madness, we had to kill the physical.
What are you hoping to achieve here?
I want you to be okay.
And what of the rest of you? The Fae knows how to use her words as her kind does. I want to hear
can
from
see
mortal
what I
lips.
You can see what I am without me changing.
Yes.
In our time, I may be one of 3 dragons left alive. Ah, go player, go.
The gifted composer puts a hand on Carrick reassuringly.
You...
I have eggs.
My congratulations to you. You came here and left them.
I do not want them to cease to have any of this going over them. The dragons in our continent were hunted down once previously. I am concerned for their safety, but I'm also concerned for all dragons. I want to save them. I want to save you. I do not want you to go insane and lash out at everybody, including those who follow you.
I'm going to go insane. You seem so certain of this. I don't see it. I don't see the possibility. I know there is something wrong. Nothing I can't handle.
I saved my wife from her father, who literally ripped his heart out of his chest because...
And removed his lips and his eyelids.
That also. Because of whatever was passing down, he was not the only. Even other half-dragons have lashed out uncontrollably, dragons, everything. I told the gods when everything happened that I was searching for a way to save you. I was not raised as a dragon. I was not raised knowing I was a dragon of any type. But you must help those who need help. And with what we have seen in our time, whatever is affecting you continues to get worse. We saw the damage that you lashing out at your brethren
I
did.
would not.
That is why we say you had gone crazy. Because we knew you wouldn't if you were of your right mind. We have seen what mortals have happened to them touching something from the real outside.
You speak of dangerous things.
Yes, we have had to go into many things, but I'm concerned that something from the outside is leaking in, and we know you were the closest to the dreamer.
Out of curiosity, Corvus has been just kind of looking around. He's seeing if there is any of those oddities that are
There are not.
floating in her proximity.
There are not.
But that's what he's been doing, more or less. Kind of been looking at the corner of his eyes.
At this time, I do not. I think you are still of your right mind. I again, as I said to your brethren, wish to save you. I like to.
Sheer suggestion that one of my might and fortitude could succumb to such a mortal thing as madness is insulting.
I am pretty confident that it is not a mortal aspect. It is what we defined it as, madness. You've touched something. You've opened something between you and what's beyond the veil that is this reality. You tried
Something
to
very funny to hear from the lips of one such as yourself.
I am full of questions, yes. But you tried to pull something back from where the things that die go. And that's the place where this Saxon that you hold his notes for, he peered into that. He lost himself in that. It is just the condition that we mortals experience. We completely go. You're festering it, whatever it is. It's with you. You feel it. You don't know what it is, but it's not something that the Fae touched you with. It's a malady of what you try to do and the reaching into a place where even God shouldn't have reached into. That's what's infecting you.
You deign to judge what I should and shouldn't do.
No. I'm just stating what we have experienced. Your
I believe Corvus
psyche
spoke.
is degrading. Not now, not within 10 years, not within 100 years. You have to go on the scale of gods for a illness to manifest. But because of who you are and because your faith is strong with the followers that you have, it finds ways to continue to spread its tendrils, that affliction, although dampened because it is not of you, but it's reaching out through the faith that people have with you. That's why his wife's father went mad. That's why dragons went mad. That's why a whole nation of Hexenreich went mad and destroyed itself, and then tried to destroy others because they believed that they were going to achieve their goal, whatever that.
Her head tilts at you when you continue. I will have silence when I ask for it.
Eric's just gonna nod.
So, one of, and they do not try to deny this, one of a kind known for deceit, deception, comes along as seemingly the leader of a band that contains not only none of my faith, but those that admit outright disdain me trying to convince my brethren that I am ill, that I am going mad. And do you expect me to just believe this? Not see this as some scheme?
No, it would be appropriate for you to see it as a scheme. And I do
sorry.
not.
Please continue.
Well, go ahead and ask for whatever you needed.
It was an out of character question regarding the blessings we received long ago from the first dragon.
I didn't
Blessing's
get
the
one.
wrong word, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
The only people in the party who had it was Shaxan and Carrick.
And I've had it burned out.
Carrick burned it out, so we don't have that right now.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was just trying to remember.
Unfortunately, I see where you're going, because would have been actually helpful in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been a bit, and I didn't want to try and skim through notes really quick. Thank you.
I don't claim that we have the right answers, and I don't claim that our assumptions are correct. We are mortal, fallible beings. Great goddess. We are also people who went through a lot of pain, and I can believe that our thoughts may be tainted by that, and that is inappropriate and not fair to you. But I would ask, if you were to face some sort of affliction upon yourself, as you feel like the Fae have done something to you, right? And I cannot say if they did or didn't. I want to believe in my heart that they didn't. Not on purpose, if anything. But you would try to handle it yourself. You would keep the secret, would you not? You would not tell your brothers and sisters, and you would try to tend to it yourself.
You would at least understand me, yes.
You would pave knowledge for the future alone, quietly, without them.
As is my duty.
As is your way, and as is appropriate. But whenever you chase into the unknown, isn't it possible for something to happen beyond your expectations? What if something happened beyond what you were expecting, beyond what you were intending to have happen, and no one knew, and then you couldn't tell them anymore? That is what I am afraid of.
Clifton, need a persuasion check, please.
Oh, shit. Can I spend a card?
You can do whatever you want.
I'm gonna spend a motherfucking card. I'm gonna get the card in a minute. Because I'm doing this first. Alright, and then I'm gonna spend a card to it, but I'm gonna wheel that.
30. Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna go find a card to ditch. Oh no, why did I close my character sheet? Ah!
She stares at you, coldly stares at you. But she gradually just looks up slightly, as if looking past you all, just above your head. And she goes, I don't trust you, but there is a logic to your reasoning.
I am not asking you to let us help you. I am asking, Great Goddess, take steps to preserve yourself as you chase into the unknown.
Then, I'm going to ask something of each of you.
Okay, it cut out a little bit, but I think it was something of each of you.
I am going to ask something of each of you. I will require a secret and a pledge. Secret just between you and me, each of you. The pledge that if you do anything to harm me or my brethren, some plan, when it is revealed, you are mine. If you are truly here to help, such a thing will not harm you, would it?
I accept
Correct.
this pledge.
What is
I accept.
I'm just gonna double check. Did I hear she wants a secret and a pledge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I did hear that correctly.
Is it a secret pledge?
Having some Morgani knowledge, you would know that telling the secret is basically what seals this pledge in the religion, essentially.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
may,
We have to give a secret as well. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You may speak of your pledge to any, but the secret, well, you understand the meaning of the word, I hope. Who will be first to step forward?
Out of
I will.
character, I'd say Carrick would, but Carrick needs to figure out a secret. The player needs to figure out a secret.
Yeah,
That's what I've been doing.
That's my mind's reeling right now because I can't use a previous secret anymore. I legitimately, not knowing her motivation, don't get to hate her as much, so it hurts right now.
I will do it.
Okay, alright. You start to step forward, Taude. As you're doing, you see one of her claws extend out to the sort of chamber floor here, and she just does a very casual drag of a claw, apparently inscribing something into the stonework. It's the most simple sort of arcane rune work you've ever seen. Something that in modern arcana shouldn't even be able to hold much power. But she simply sort of gestures to it as if asking you to stand atop it.
I will kind of bow slightly and do so.
And she just leans her head down to you. None can hear your pledge.
Sorry, one sec.
No, come back, Tilda.
Sorry, it was like at that exact moment I had a cough fit. So
You
I was
can't
like,
run from this.
Day starts running in circles.
He just starts rolling on the ground. Big red health bar pops up above Morgani with Dark Toes now.
Okay. Yeah, you want me? You want me to say it?
Yeah.
I rejected an opportunity to free all of my people of their current form and restore them to what they once were.
Ooh.
Very well. You tied a secret to a pledge not to touch. Well, let me be more specific. Can't have any play like those Fae. Not to harm me or my siblings. Or my niece.
Sorry, what was the last word?
Or my niece.
There's.
Oh, we're defeating Hea now, I see.
Oh.
I can only pledge not to intentionally or knowingly do so.
That is fair. Your secret and pledge are mine. And she just sort of gestures you away.
Again, a slight bow, and then turn and walk.
Right. She just looks at the group.
Does RG have to do this twice?
Oh,
RJ might find out when she gets there.
Yeah.
RG puts it right up, would step forward and go, I'll do it.
Come, my follower. You have already given me a secret. Are you willing to let it bind your pledge?
I am, unless you would prefer a second one.
If you are giving me one, I will take it.
RG will nod and step up into the circle.
When you step into the circle, her head actually leans down beside you, not sort of facing you as Telde did, she did with Telde, but that large maw right beside you. You can just hear us hiss and go, if it is a statement of hatred against me. Secret.
It isn't.
Speak.
I have killed a single person in the entire time I've traveled with my friends. I would do it again in a heartbeat to stop the man.
I think they know.
If you said anything after I know it cut off.
Nope, that's all she said.
Okay.
A secret
For some reason, I thought
is
you
not
killed
simply
more than one
something
person.
unspoken. It has to
I've
be
never
something
told them
hidden
that
from the hearts of others as well.
I've always shown them regret for killing that man and that I would like to try and undo it or try and do differently.
Yeah, she
But
looks towards the group and just goes, some of them see the heart of you.
it's difficult when I'm fractured as I am.
Hmm.
I assume you know the type of things I can do and what it has done to me.
I see your rendered form.
It's what I do to keep the world safe, to make it so everyone can be happy.
How sweet. Luckily,
Most called stupid. I'd probably agree with them at this point.
yes, indeed. Luckily, I need not another secret from you. Simply your pledge.
I pledge not to harm you, your siblings, or your...
Very good. There you go.
And Margie will...
Each time somebody gets done, the rest of us are going, shit, sweat drop, sweat drop, sweat drop.
She just looks expectantly.
Eric will walk forward.
Okay. She just sort of watches you, Carrick, and she leans her head down and goes, first, if you are all found to be guilty of deceit, and if I do claim you, know that I will await the day that your wife and your children arrive. I will take care of them. Their sins will not be yours.
Oh, that's the most
Am I reading
reasonable
that
God
as a-
I've heard.
That
Am I
was
reading
actually
that as the threat or not?
no,
a threat?
that was
That was not a
that's
threat.
not threat. That was
Okay,
a
okay.
reassurance that your children and wife will be spared even if you fail.
Thank you for that.
That's comforting for you because you know what will be her state at that point, but still.
It
Yeah.
sounded like a threatening reassurance.
She's not really capable of sounding
It's
not
a
threatening.
reassurance if she doesn't go crazy.
Yeah.
Out of character. In character. None of that reassured Carrick at all.
No. Speak your secret and your pledge.
My secret is that even with everything I have done, I still do not believe. Of course, player cats are times like this. That I do not deserve anything I have. The friends, the family, being a dragon, none of it.
I'll accept this.
I pledge I am not here. I pledge to you that I am being truthful and I am here to do no harm and just to assist, and that I will not harm your brethren or Hea.
Very well. And she just dismisses you with a claw wave.
And Carrick's gonna walk away.
Well,
Kirsten's gonna walk up. She's got a look on her face like she's not really pleased about this.
Careful with your words, Faye. I know you're kind.
Yes, great goddess, I will do my best.
Speak.
I, in my deepest heart, long for something that is terrible. I wish that I had died in Tarnstead. I saw so many of my people go down fighting, and I was a coward and left. And there is not a day that goes by that I do not wish that I had just died there, even knowing everything that I know now, and knowing that the world might have crumbled apart because I wasn't there to do whatever it is that I needed to do, being the hero. She says that with disdain. I wish I had just died there and that Corvus hadn't saved me. I do not think I am worth what has been lost.
Not words for a wife and mother to speak. That yearning. No wonder Immortal likes you. Accept this secret.
I will do no action or deed or thought in any attempt to hurt you, your brothers and sisters, your niece. Never. Or any of the first dragons. Would not harm them.
Very good. Especially powerful for one of your kind to say. You lie so much because the truth is so.
Yes. I am wicked. And she will walk back.
Right. Her gaze falls to you, Corvus.
Stephen's gonna pick up Dingus and hug him.
Corvus approaches. He takes off his glasses, stands in the circle.
So, that very much of the outside is on you. I can see it. Tell me, before the pledge, before the secret, does it whisper to you as well?
I wish it would.
Speak to me.
I wish. I wish I had more substantiation of the dreamer. I wish I could be beyond this, but not gone from it. There are so many things rattling in my mind that I am hiding from the rest of them because they need to see their doctor normal.
If you think such things are hidden, you are sorely mistaken.
I know they're not. That just proves more of my inadequacies of this.
That is supposed to be your secret. I'm afraid it is lacking.
I wanted to see what would happen if I did kill my nephew. I wanted to see what would happen if I compel the Azovs to do my bidding. I wanted to know what secret laid within the vault that could give me some sort of edge beyond everything that you and your kind are. I wanted to be beyond all of this. And here I stay. And I am destined to go back to that dreamer. I don't want to go back. I want to become more what it is in this place, in this reality. And I want to make this reality true.
The word you want is domination. That is what you crave.
Yes.
I will take the secret that you loathe to even admit to yourself. Give me your pledge.
He's looking down. I will do no harm to you or your brethren or your niece.
Very good. She gestures for you to back away.
Corvus puts his glasses back on and turns back to the group.
Angel, come forward to me. And you see Braziel actually looks surprised momentarily. And it looks like he wants to object, but before he even tries, Morgana just says, "Your relationship to my brother does not excuse you from your association with them. Step forward." And he gives you a hesitant look for shaking his head and just starting to walk towards her.
Gifton has that look of wants to go with, but knows that she can't.
The words exchanged between them, unfortunately, you are not privy to. But he comes away looking ashamed and just gives you a weak smile as he rejoins the group. Then she looks to Echo.
Oh no. Echo doesn't have secrets. This is hard.
Yeah, and this is the unfortunate thing, because you actually see Morgana scowl. This one is problematic.
Echo's kind of an open book.
The infant is excused.
I was going to suggest she'd think of a number
And
and then not tell anyone.
She just leans in and just and just goes, "There's a baby here."
Oh, did she say that about Dingus?
No, she just said the infant is excused.
Yeah, she's
I'm
Echo.
gonna pat Echo. Yeah. It's your birthday.
No. Hidden dragon. You've not gone unnoticed. And Dingus doesn't realise that she's referring to him. You see he actually turning his head to look around.
We're big.
Someone nudge him.
Lord of the Bridge, I believe the goddess is talking to you.
Mimi?
Yeah, I think she's talking to you.
And little simple Dingus, he gets the feeling that things are tense. He sort of gets the sense that maybe some people are not fond of this one, but he still flashes, "Go to Big Pretty."
I nod and I give him a kiss on the back of the head. Yes, go to Big Pretty.
He hops down and he actually walks across the floor. He doesn't flap over to her.
Does his little hop?
And this is probably the first time you've seen anything but apathy and disdain on Morgani's face, there is the ever so slight look of amusement.
Attraction, you mean? She is thoroughly
Like,
besmitten.
we're not there yet. Okay, let's give it time.
Listen, I know Dingus can wiggle that tail about.
And
whips his tail back and forth. He whips his tail back and forth.
And Dingus sort of hops into that little rune that she's drawn at her gesturing, and she leans her head down to him, and he sort of gestures his body about as he's wont to, you know, the head bops up and down, and you can just see she's talking to him. And then there's a not quite a full laugh, sort of snorted chortle that comes from her, and she just says, "I'll accept your secret."
It's where he's admitting. That's going to be really upsetting later.
And Dingus immediately bobs his head happily and just starts hopping back on over to you.
I'll scoop him back up, give him a big rub on the back of the neck. Well done.
And you get the flashing head of, "Well, know what I said?
No, that's between you and her. You can't share it.
Can't share?"
No, you can't share it. It's only between you and her. Secret.
Yeah, want no secret?
Morgani, please forgive my sweet Lord of the Bridge. He doesn't understand secret very well.
Morgani, please ignore this idiot.
He just waves a very dismissive claw. I'm sure he will figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you. I don't. But I will abide by the decision of the whole. You have more to convince than me.
Of course.
You will also speak to your other companion. All is said and done. You will come to me, and she shall do the same.
Of course. Thank you for such a gracious audience on a topic that must be very uncomfortable to hear from unworthy lips.
She doesn't particularly respond more beyond the little. She just looks to where you're clustered and goes, "You will wait for the rest of them to convene."
I will bow respectfully.
And with that,
I'm assuming we're being dismissed by her, and
the
she's probably gonna throw walls back up.
stone wall starts to rise up again around you all. As far as it goes, in possibility of beings that can focus their attention places, you've got as much privacy as you could expect here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good, because I really needed to go to the privy and...
So, who wants
Maria's
snacks?
watching
I'm
you.
going to open up my sack of bacon, chocolate, and
Always
rice,
watching you.
and assorted seeds, and take out a piece and start sharing it with Dingus.
This was awkward.
Yeah.
Was that made by the object? Or do you just always have that?
Well, I bought this sack back in Wyndon, really. It's was like about a copper.
Dingus eating is mostly like it sort of spraying out of his muzzle. He's doing the chomp 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 that lets lots of things fall out.
Oh, all over my nice
Aha.
dress. Gifton's gonna take a piece of cloth out and tie it about his neck like a little bib.
Nice.
Continue eating.
See, if you tie it around his collar and then drape it to his nose, it acts as a catchment, so he can just go and eat more later.
That actually went quite well. She was very reasonable.
I mean, beyond the impossible miracle of her listening to us and agreeing with us, is about as best as we can hope, I suppose.
She didn't kill us.
She was completely in her right, though. I mean, if some crazy mortal bastards came up to me and were like, "You're crazy and you do terrible things," and they've got no proof, then I'd be mad.
Should we have brought along
Very.
Nod?
That was a risk.
Yes, the other gods may not.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it wasn't something that she wanted as a secret only between us, I was going to tell her that we had spiritual with us, but you know, I was trying also to toe a line there because I was worried she was thinking we were holding him hostage or her hostage, and that would be awkward.
Yes. No.
Cheerful
So how
times.
are we going to go about explaining it to the others?
Well, we have 5 that we need to convince.
4 in our corner, at the very least.
I meant 5 who we don't have in our corner. That
Yes,
we
yes,
need to
I'm
convince.
saying on the other side of things.
Yes.
And one that is most definitely doubting of us.
I'm thinking, unless it's a tie, she may stay out of the voting.
And I'm wondering if
I'm not
they'll
sure.
go with majority or unanimous, or...
Why isn't Dadriel here for this?
Why isn't Ezreal here for this?
Probably best that he didn't have to.
I mean,
He's a vote. He's a vote.
it worked last time, right?
He's a vote. Why isn't Dadriel here?
You have the
Can
badge.
you contact him?
He has the badge.
Why did you give him the badge?
I gave him the badge because he's the prime.
Can
I
you
will
contact him?
I don't know how it works
He's-
here.
Raziel's hand reaches out and like grasps your shoulder tightly, Gifton.
Mhm.
You represent them.
What?
You represent them.
I represent the prime.
Oh no.
No, you represent the twins.
Oh,
The ones in you.
did I get 2 votes then?
Presumably,
I
I-
will err on the side that they may
Out of
not.
character, do I get 4 votes then?
Jeez, the truth bears.
I mean,
Yes, but one of them has to vote against the others.
call this my little gambit-loving mind, but if things go badly,
trump
we could
card.
try to.
Yeah, I don't know if at this time they will be as amiable towards that idea, but it's worth a try.
Depends how their rules for this are written. Talon is a.
I was
Stickler
really
for
hoping
them.
Talon would get my letter by now.
Didn't out of character? Didn't she say she?
I
No,
thought
she's
the
still-
reason
It was
why
still a
we're up
bureaucracy.
here-
She was still
Yeah.
there. That's right.
I thought the reason why we're up here is because the letter arrived.
No.
No, we're up here because we don't know. Because you see, we weren't good little children at the last meeting, so we've been kind of cut out of the loop of what's going on because none of the gods are telling us anything right now. We got
Well-
invited to a meeting that we don't know what
Yeah,
the purpose of us being here is.
Miris definitely went, well, they fucked up that meeting with Morgani. Let's try and handle this ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that meeting. I thought you meant the old
The old meeting.
No, no, I'm talking about
the
we weren't good at the
Morgana
last
meeting, yeah.
time we were at a meeting with
Yeah.
more than one god.
Yeah.
It was because we were meeting with her. And they've kind of none of those gods have talked to us except Heya since then.
Yeah,
Didn't
unfortunately.
they go, we'll deal with this ourselves?
Yeah.
They basically
Yeah.
did, and so we just haven't been. So the fact that we're involved at all, we are going in blind, and them not contacting us is, I'm assuming, the fact that they're trying to show that they are not being manipulated by us.
I mean, that's kind of what we got from Morgani there.
Oh,
Mhm.
I was saying this out of character. That was
Oh,
me
I thought you were
ranting.
saying.
No, that was me ranting out of character. But yeah, in character, I'm saying, you know, we were good little kids at the last meeting, so we've been kind of shut out, and they do have legitimate reasons to believe that somehow the evil Fae is taking over the minds and hearts of all the gods, and that's Maybe I should just sit somewhere and you guys go talk. Maybe I'm the threat.
No.
No. Okay, because I could whittle like a little badge. We could say that Carrick is my prime.
Probably a great idea.
I'm just annoyed that they just focus on the one aspect that they're using, that it's all a faith thing. It's not.
That's all she is talking
That's
about.
what Morgani's saying. Is.
And having a Fae amongst us and knowing what we know, there's.
She has reason to believe that.
Yes.
We have previously focused on particulars of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's particularly annoying because we know she's wrong, but if that's all the evidence you have to go on.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
Feels weird being on this end of that conversation.
Yes.
They're all aware of what's that. The empty, the void, the basement, the sub-basement. They all know about it, right?
To different degrees, yes. There is different understanding.
Yeah, different understandings, and like what they think about it is entirely different things, probably.
Remember, I talked quite deeply about my father's deception in this matter.
And also, even like Raziel doesn't have the definitive information about all of that.
Indeed.
They only have the titty bits that they've gotten from possible truths from Eris and things that maybe them and the gentleman did. So it's still kind of a grand frontier of unknowns for a lot of people because it's
we should
scary.
Have went to the library.
Which one? The birch
the
one?
Gentleman's.
The one that's ransacked? Right
before all of this. It's not that
more
now.
time travel. We'll say it wasn't there when we were there, because it would have been.
It was there.
And what from it would have been enough?
I don't know. Anything, any tidbit of helpful information that they've collected. They went rogue.
You could have been stuck reading years of books before you found anything useful unless you know that there's something there.
I've done that before. It's not fun.
What I consider fun.
I mean, that may have been on the table if we had known you knew where the library was.
I did. I told you all.
I thought you were talking about the other library.
It's a past point.
I mean, I'm sad we never got to read Raz's diary.
How about? Well, no, that's just. We're in the past. It doesn't work.
Say it anyways. Save us the trouble.
We could have taken a field trip to Usglass's little pocket of crazy.
I just like that idea.
Mm.
I remember your story of how you felt reading her notes.
Yes, it is painful. But
very woman.
I think some of them need to just rip the band-aid off.
There is an option we could proffer if they need it.
No, that was Raz.
What did Raz say?
Scary woman.
We did confirm Usglass didn't come in the box, right? Because there were a lot of people that went in there, and I will say,
as far as you're aware, Usglass isn't in the box.
Spiritual got in there, and
as far as you're aware, Usglass isn't in the box.
Mental could be in there for all we know.
I won't say she's not in the box, but as far as you're aware, she's not in the box.
We could offer to take the gods.
You know that Star Trek Odyssey thing? Are they on the ship? They're in the vents.
I'm not sure how that would work now with... I'm not even going to try and guess with the timelines nonsense.
A last ditch option.
There is a possibility of trying to get a representative or a avatar of a dreamer, like before.
That's not actually a terrible idea.
Obviously, Echo should be.
It's just every time I've gone in there, it's been
silent. One of the mortal ones, the walking ones.
The walk-in ones, the ones that we were.
You mean like the one at the library right
the one
now?
at the library and the one that Uskglas dissected.
Well, I'm just saying they're
There's one at the library right now.
at the library right now.
10 years, but yes.
Out of character, didn't someone go look for her and find out she
We
wasn't
did.
there?
That was
Yeah,
100
she
years in the future,
Yeah.
Oh, that
or
was from the
200 years in the
future,
future. And then she went on walkabout, but she was still alive.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I know she was still alive. I
So
thought that
she's-
was
she-
on
so
this trip.
so that means on this trip, no one's
could
checked
be.
to see if she's there, and she could
Yeah.
be there.
She could be still at the
There
library.
is always,
could
and
be.
I don't know if they trust. There's always the
M-
attempt.
Maybe if we save it for if things look bad.
Yeah. I could also see if the dreamer could possess me again. I don't know if that would actually be better for what we're trying to do, but another last ditch
Kirsten's
effort.
gonna frown and start reaching into her bag and then
Do
pull out
we-
a piece of paper and stare at it for a little bit. It's that piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Did we want any specific arguments or such we wanted to make to certain gods? We haven't quite appealed to.
I don't know if we should be gearing to make arguments because I don't know what the
Or
purpose of the
answer
conversation
questions.
or if we're just here to answer questions. I think the important thing is we need to keep our deference up because
Yes.
remember the first time we met the gods. The first time we met the gods, they fucking hated our guts. Right away, there was a lot of negativity. And the only reason they were dealing with us was that they had to, right? Not because they wanted to, because they had to. They had no choice, and Miris loved it. But this time, they have a choice.
This is on their terms.
This is entirely on their terms, so we need to be appropriately respectful and remember that these are the supreme beings that made everything and that we are some idiots in a box.
That doesn't mean if told to be
I look at the
silent,
walls.
silent.
Idiots in a box.
We're in a circle.
I am
Hat
half
box.
expecting those walls to fall down as well.
But yes, that does mean please, if we're told to be silent, we be silent. We
And-
need to,
Speak when we are spoken to.
yes.
And try to, again, don't be accusatory and try to frame things appropriately because we can only speak to what we experienced,
Yes.
but that doesn't mean that those people are those people. I mean, you saw how different Amor and Ilan and Hea were when we first arrived.
Yes.
Miris kind of stayed very. They're hard to gauge.
Pretty sure Miris is pretty much able to act the same no matter when or where you find them.
I can tell you the first time I met Ilan, it was not the same.
Was that in the
You were
the
there.
temple? Was it in the
Yeah.
temple? That's
That was in the temple, yeah.
yes, he was very different than pretty much every
He-
time I've seen him since.
I mean, he was not happy to see me, and I was surprised.
To him, you're, you know.
Yeah, I'm a bad memory.
All we can do is answer what questions are asked of us and give what information we can when we can. I don't think there's a whole lot, unfortunately, we can.
Just as you're finishing that sentence, the walls
And
begin to
Corvus
lower.
is just gonna sit down and unpack his bag.
I like to say Corvus is
Are you
just
unpacking
sitting
your
on
bag
the
as the walls
floor.
begin to lower?
It is about time that Corvus unpacked his baggage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Echo's right there.
Yeah. Do you want to repack your bags as the walls lower, or you just what are you doing?
Yes.
Okay.
put the manuscript.
So you do
back
the
in
annoying
bag.
thing where you just sit down and open your bag up, pull one item out, and then you have to get back up.
I keep imagining the Mission Impossible style fake rooms falling apart thing.
Yeah.
Riften is going to do the again thing. She's going to take the ring off appropriately because she is actually trying to show her actual form mostly.
Right. The walls lower, revealing you are all in the center of a chamber. Again, no real decoration here. This isn't a sort of meeting hall as you knew them to use in the future. There's no real thrones or anything. The gods are just arrayed around you in a circle. Most of them look quite different than the modern day visages that you're used to. Far more primitive representations of their various cultures. And far more accented that there's no leaning of the Beressian faith in them here, except for the 4 that you're familiar with. Those reflect how you knew them in the future. But for once, sans the lost Lardasil, all of the gods are arrayed and gathered in one place. Talan, it must be Talan. There is just by process of elimination, you recognize the dark skin of Hevos. You see that, that tanned ocean-faring look for Orlan. Mairi wearing the colourful sort of patterns of her people. Talan, strange enough, looks almost bestial, much like Ilan does. Furs, but thick, heavy.
Did you say Talan?
Talan.
Yeah.
Thick, heavy furs, clearly cut and fitted, but it looks like he is wearing some sort of winter outfit, a very primitive one. Great big bushy beard coming out from this fluffy hat, and he is holding what looks like to be a large staff with a bear's head on it.
Is this like an actual bear's head or like carved out of wood?
It is carved out of wood.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's Tamari looking?
Tamari is looking quite gorgeous. She has, much like Sadriel, a rather beautiful air quote bathrobe on. She has long black hair, but like one of the deepest blacks you've ever seen. It is somehow unkempt and yet perfectly arranged.
It has volume.
Brown eyes that just shine with light and vibrancy that color should not be able to achieve. It is like you took the concept of a simplistic beauty and made it the most gorgeous thing in existence. Unlike Sadriel, she does not appear to have any fox-like features or anything. There is no kitsune in this, just a simple human.
Riften's doing the bow down thing again.
Okay.
So is Carrick.
Cassie. You have been kept aside. You've seen the shifting of forms away from this little sort of chamber that Haya
Millie
had kept you in. Millie seems to be kept apart from you in this instance, as Haya has been kind and not exposing the poor girl to bliss. But you find yourself basically appearing next to your friends and seeing the same arranged circle in the midst of some of your friends starting to kneel.
Cass has this look of like the heck. Oh, what?
It just gives you a heads up that there is going to be a god meeting, by the way. So it's not entirely a surprise.
Otherwise, Cass is going to be like,
yeah.
Come on! Cass is going to genuflect.
Okay. Corvus.
Where's Neil?
You needing this time?
Yeah, he's favoring that knee. I mean, in his head, he's favoring that knee, so it's a bit stilted.
Okay. Right. So all of you show the proper due respect. After a good 10 seconds, they let you be like this, right? After a good 10 seconds, you hear Talan's voice, rough and coarse, heavily accented, which I won't be able to pull off, but it is. Just saying, rise.
I'm going to rise.
Very well sustained.
Yustin's gonna kind of look around, kind of appraising everybody, smile at Ilan and Amor and Haya and all of them, and then when her eyes settle on Hevos, because she knows that's Hevos. Sudden that bit of tears, and she tries to straighten herself up.
Yeah. Hevos is basically in full Sulu garb. And
sorry, misread that. Yeah.
What did you mishear it as?
I thought that was George Takei when you said
Oh.
that, and so I was expecting, like, for some reason when you said that.
I thought that was a phaser.
No, I thought about when he.
Oh, shirtless with the rapier. Yeah.
I was where my brain went. That was immediately there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had red uniform in my mind, but
by God, is the man muscled?
I'm sorry, it's George Takei shirtless.
Yeah.
That's what this is. No.
Yeah.
Okay, but yes, it's Zulu.
Yeah.
His abs have abs.
Mhm.
His abs have abs.
Not over the top muscled.
Okay.
Just like he looks like he is fit to the extreme, like the pinnacle of fighting body. Not a showy muscle, but a practical muscle.
Mm-hmm.
But Talan seems to look at his brethren and almost as if trying to get signals from them whether they're ready to proceed before his gaze settles back upon you, and he goes, "We have been brought news and accusations. Some of my brethren claim that all that you speak is true and offer words that suggest that they should be believed. All of us want to hear it from the source, to judge you and your words in the truth of your hearts. Even if your intent is found to be pure, if what you wish to do we disagree with, you will be sent home. If we find that you are sinister agents, as some believe, you will be dealt with. You have a chance now to leave. We are offering this. Do you wish to proceed?"
Out of
I wish.
character.
Hmm?
Agents of what?
Deceit.
Deceit. Oh, okay. I heard is it. So I was like, what? Got it.
I wish to stay.
I wish to stay.
I
wish
wish
to
to
stay.
stay.
I want to stay,
If you
Mako
would allow
says.
me.
Beep, 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 beep,
Meep, meep,
beep.
meep, meep. Raziel just nods and goes, "I wish to stay."
For a second there, I thought you were going to say that was Reggie.
I'm not leaving.
Raziel has turned into Beaker.
I would like to eventually leave, but not at this moment.
I would like to stay temporarily, but not all.
I would like to stay to the conclusion of the meeting, but then depart, please.
Then, if you are all willing to accept these terms, we can begin. First, the suggestion that you are from a time far in the future. Your creations deal with such matters Are you willing to vouch for their existence from a time beyond? And Haya just nods and just goes, as I have already said, they are who they say they are. They are from when they say they are from. I know this. It is a thing that is possible. You know it is a thing that is possible. And what they say is true. I'm just hearing it as a matter of record. You are all claiming this, yes?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Nodding.
10,000 years hence. Please describe your method of travel.
It's kind of like a magic tree, but it has like in a box. But there's like all
That's
sorts of cool
bigger
metal
on
bits
the
that's on
inside.
it, and it goes between the causality of different like places and points and stuff and time, and it's supposed to have been a mix of Fey technology and Nutulian Empire. It's not ours. We nicked it. I'll be
From the
honest.
future.
As I am aware.
Um,
At this point, I suppose it is wise to introduce the opposition.
Of course.
And he just gestures, and you realize the walls didn't sink down around you. It just felt like that because you didn't feel any movement. But now you actually see that something is rising from the floor. A platform, which contains somebody in a familiar uniform of the, we're just going to call them the Time Cops, of the Sphinx Initiative.
Hold on to them.
Time cops.
The person themselves is not familiar to you, like you do not recognize them from those that you interacted with.
Oh.
I know, it's so sad.
Still hoping to win
Slight
those
head
two
can't.
over.
Yeah. Appears to be a male human. And they just a sort of short cropped blonde hair, very military cut. They seem to have a little bit of scarring on their left cheek, and Talon just gestures at them and goes, "Your name, please." And he just goes, "I am Captain Julian Davis." Captain Julian Davis.
Out of character. What was
Hi.
that? Wasn't the name of the person that Traveler talked
It was not, no.
Okay.
Hi.
I'm
Gifton.
Talon just goes, "This is not a place for introductions."
My apologies.
Part of me wants to whisper under my breath, but he just introduced himself.
Right?
But say hi.
And we will get to your say in this matter after they have had theirs. Please continue. And he just looks to your group.
This is really bad timing, but I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Good luck.
We traveled here in order to character trying to explain how
No. You are to continue the description of the device you used.
it is intelligent, sentient, it seems. It calls itself Traveler.
Yeah.
And
I am to understand it was within the care of this man's agency.
They told us that we could have anything in the room.
yes, they
Because
did.
our mission was that we could take anything in the room and that we were going to go back and we were going to prevent the death of Hevos. And then we were going to go do stuff. And then when we were in there, we opened up the box and the box was like, hey, but what if? And we were like, that sounds really cool. And it technically is helping us prevent the death of Hevos. But we have a lot of things inside the box that were in that room that, again, we were told we could have anything in the room.
Yes.
Is
And
this?
then they started shooting at us.
Talon just holds up a hand as if like, yeah, okay. And he just goes, "Is this true, Captain Julian Davies? Were they told that they could have anything within this room that is described?" And he just nods and goes, "They were indeed informed of their clearance to take possession of many of the catalogued items. However, I believe the intent was clear that it was the items that were knowingly stored and catalogued there. This device was an unknown element of the room and should not have been taken no more than the pillars of the room itself, which I will again say, it was disguised as one of. We asked them to stop, and they did not. We were forced to try and use force to detain them.
We offered to talk to them, and they used that opportunity to attack us. And then we fled.
And not only that, if they weren't aware it's there, then by all rights, it's not really in their care now, is it?
And it did actually ask us to help it.
Actually, it more or less delivered a message from somebody who had passed away as a result of the actions, that to give them a chance for hope for future. And it seemed useful.
Yes.
And who was this person that you received a message from?
Oh my god, let me find my notebook.
Ramiz Midhat.
That's it. Ramiz Midhat.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually already looking when you asked.
Good job. I was just thinking, man, I hope you have that note, because I have it in my notebook somewhere.
He was a Pulian from a future
Another time. They did not ask to have only their future saved. They wanted to save both futures, or many, because they just wanted a chance to exist.
Ramiz Midhat was a known terrorist with multiple assaults on multiple timelines through multiple incarnations of himself. I believe he's gone under a few aliases. Most recently, Blue. Not sure what the code name stands for, but he is a known hostile entity, and to follow his directions, well, it is an ill-advised move, as we would have informed them if they had allowed themselves to be detained.
You didn't even give us a chance. You immediately opened fire when we put the shields down to talk to you.
There was not an immediate opening of fire. They are exaggerating the situation. There were some words exchanged first. Things escalated, unfortunately, but...
you prepared an ambush.
With you shooting at us.
Premeditatively played
you weren't
your
going to talk
hand
to us.
against us.
You were going
one
to force
at a time, please. We will have
it was
order.
Cass is raising her hand. It was a premeditated ambush in the attempt to force us out of Traveler, to take possession of Traveler. They had no intention of discussing with us. They intended to make demands. And then she's putting her hand down.
And he turns his gaze back to the captain, who just was watching you speak, and he very calmly looks to Talon and just goes, "Is it true that we arranged a security force ahead of them lowering the shields? However, this is rather accepted procedure. I am sure that you could not expect any of your people to let potentially hostile and dangerous beings interact with the tribe or leadership without preparation. Things going badly."
May I request? Do you feel that we are potentially hostile or dangerous beings?
Talon actually gestures as like, go ahead and answer her question. And he goes, "I think that you have good intentions at heart. However, I think you are woefully ill-informed and are doing something that is going to endanger the timeline, yes."
Skirting the question.
We will not have any further outbursts. Lower your tone. We will have a civil discussion here.
I'm sorry. I was just pointing out you skirting around giving the answer, which is a yes or no.
I did not ask for a yes or no. It was appropriate.
If yes or no answers suited the situation, this would be a far easier matter to address. Please continue, Captain. Certainly. Were our actions perhaps ill-advised? Yes, but they were done out of desperation. It is a reflection of how dangerous a matter this is. Even allowing this to go on as it has could already have endangered things beyond repair, but we are hoping to salvage something from this situation. And your group, you believe you acted best?
Yes.
Nodding.
We were given
Nodding well.
information on what could happen from this, and we believe saving millions of lives is worth the undertaking.
I had wanted to talk to them when that did not work out. I feel like we took the right course, and I feel like having committed to it, that I would do it again.
Even more firm nodding.
I would have liked it to have gone more peaceably, and we could have talked things out. I think the risk is worth the people it saves.
We asked them. They said they wished to talk to us. We agreed we would lower the shields to talk to them, as long as the soldiers that were attacking at us left. And we went in for safety, came out and lowered the shields. And yes, we did not have much of a discourse. I do not believe any of us, motions to our group, had any intent other than to discuss.
We
Yeah, so truly.
have the said discourse on file from the captain here, but I would like to hear it from your perspective. What words were exchanged?
My notes.
They asked that if we were going, they wanted us to lower the shields so we could talk it out. And we said, okay, but only the commander and her ensign to stay. And then we would lower the shields and we would come out and talk. When we came out, the commander was there, the ensign, and many cloaked figures that suddenly appeared and threw weapons at us and ordered us away from the machine.
And
Which
that
is an
order
immediate
was
breach.
repeated a few times with refusal from yourselves, yes?
Yes, because we felt that was a breach of the conditions of meeting that we had tried to do, and they opened fire.
As far as I am concerned, you should have listened to them. However, they should also have held their bargain in the first place. He actually looks at the captain and goes, "You escalated things unnecessarily." As I can find fault in both the parties in this matter, I'm not willing to render any punishing judgment in either direction. This is acceptable to both parties.
Yes.
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 Yes, the captain says. Good. Now, the matter of saving millions of lives. This is a difficult thing for me here, because they do not exist.
No. To be fair, we do not exist either.
You have brought me new problems that there is little precedence for.
Some may exist at this time.
Yes, but I think we are... And he seems to close his eyes. It's like he's reading internal notes.
God,
He's rereading Time Conundrums
Uh-huh.
for Gods.
It seems to me that you are putting value on lives that, even in your time, had not lived. Potential
Yes.
lives.
Yes and no.
They
If-
would also be the lives of the people who died, we feel, unnecessarily in the taking of Hea's continent, which were lives we would have been privy to.
Yes, that matter.
Along with
I would like to
possible-
table the matter at the Sphinx Agency and arrange for further discussion on neutral grounds between the two parties. Acceptable?
Sir,
Look at the rest of the party. I see no reason for that not to be acceptable.
It seems acceptable. Yeah.
I am curious what would be neutral grounds, but yes.
One controlled by me.
That would be very neutral.
Is that acceptable to you as well, Captain? And Captain Davis doesn't actually seem particularly pleased, but he just nods his head. It is. Thank you. Good. Then I shall return you to your compatriots for now. You will be called upon again. And with that, the captain lowers into the ground.
Well, we know that they're here in this timeline.
I mean, we're still the same timeline.
Right.
I was out of character, but
Oh, okay. Sorry. That's okay.
sorry.
For the next matter, I am going to call upon my beloved Miris. And Miris actually walks forward to, stand not amongst your group, but sort of by you.
Mhm.
And Talon actually seems to frown and wave his hand and goes, "Please repeat your confession for matter of record." And Miris just goes, I confess to plotting to incite trouble against my dear sister Morgani over there, placing blame upon my beloved niece here, as to escalate conflict between all of us and, well, unfortunately start a distrust of Hea's ways and lead to her ultimate imprisonment. And there is a very awkward silence after that. Even though it seems like they'd heard it before in more private discussions, there is still that look of disbelief of that, how could you do such a thing, on the other sorted gods' faces. And your party are aware of this, yes? And you can reinforce this claim?
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, Rezio says, sort of sourly. And I am to understand that here you do not expect any recompense for this. And Heya shakes her head and goes, "No, forgiveness is the wrong word, but we have moved past it." Very well. This does put reinforcement to the claim that we acted against Morgani and her people, Heya and her people. And I can see no distruth being spoken here. Would you, as far as you understand it, please put into words how these events happened, and he's addressing you all when he says this.
I think you know the most about it, Gifton.
Justin looks at you with a deep look of betrayal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, wow, way to throw her right under a bus.
Justin's
Unfortunately,
looking up at
Another
you,
bus.
the little brownie on the ground, just like, really?
Thankfully,
Unfortunately-
Morgani actually lets out a low rumble and goes, "I would rather not the Fae address this because I am still doubting whether she has affected my brother's mind to make him admit to these crimes."
I guess I'm out then.
May I make a suggestion, if it so pleases?
Morgani looks like she's about to retort before Talon just goes, "It is your right to."
Perhaps we call upon the Prime of Lolathil.
I am still unsure that this is a real thing. But if you wish to attempt this, feel free. However, if I see any trickery being performed, know that it will not go well.
I'm gonna nod. I'm going to. Adriel, could you please come be a nice +1 for this? Ooh.
Roll, but out.
Right. When you say that, there is a few moments go by,
just like this little clapping.
and it looks like Talon's sort of monitoring this place, feeling for something, because not anybody can just get here. But with a look of surprise on his face and a seeming allowance for it, Dadriel does appear beside you. And he gives you a little side glance and the ever sort of like upturn of his lip, smiling as much as he feels he should in the situation. But he's immediately sort of kneeling down on one knee in front of the rest of the guards and bowing his head. He goes, I am called upon, and so I come. This is my duty to help those that my lady loved and held most dear. How may I be of service? And the gods seem to sort of lean forward. Some of them seem taken aback. Mayuri herself almost looks a little tearful. And Talon tries to keep his composure despite his surprise and goes, we will discuss your existence later. You will explain how you are. For now, I need you to have deep knowledge of the happenings of Miris's ploys and supposed betrayal. And he actually looks to you, Gifton, as if like, why am I saying this?
I don't want to hear it from a fae.
His eyes then go over to Carrick.
I can give the information that I know. I was not one of the ones directly in attendance when we found it, but I know of the magic work. From what I know,
That real actually wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn it!
Remember, he was back in time.
Yeah.
There was. They believe they are called the lights, the small creatures that Ea had made that help light the areas and such.
Oh, it's that deception. I thought it was
yes.
like the bigger thing. Okay.
No.
Yeah, they're specifically talking about the aims of turning Hare against Morgani and so on.
They had led some of our group to a area of living quarters that were completely vacant. In investigating said areas, it was found that they contained draconic runes that were the cause of the disappearances. In work to undo those, they were damaged enough to allow entrance to prove. But at the time, dragons had not been. Any type of dragon had been on. If I remember correctly, also even Morgani's angels were not allowed at that point, if I remember.
Morgani's angels were allowed.
They were allowed. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Carrick, remember, Turiel can verify I was there.
That is correct. The angel Turiel was able to verify the findings. She was of assistance in part of it.
The angel Turiel assisted in this.
Down at Gifton, I wasn't there.
No, she didn't assist. She knew that we were there during that. She can verify we were present.
She can verify that we were there during the time.
That is not necessary. Your presence is already very well known in that period, and his eyes actually go to Cassie at that point.
Who's Oh, tell they. Okay. I'm trying to figure out which clapping in general. I'm guessing that was an out of character clapping.
Yes.
Through some investigations, we were able to determine that they were not made by any of those actually tied to dragon kind or Morgani, but a third
Morgani's
party.
dragons wouldn't have been dumb enough to do something that blatant.
That's why I said through investigations.
I know. Okay, I'm
Um,
stopping.
The one thing I was not privy to was if they had ever figured out who the third party was, but we were able to determine it would not have been dragons or those tied directly to Morgani. I believe there was quite a few areas that were affected in that area.
Did you ever find evidence that it was the work of mirrors?
I'm gonna actually look over at Corvus because
I'm gonna
Corvus
look
was
over at
actually
Raz.
Raz,
The troublemakers.
Raz,
Because they don't want me to talk, but I betted somebody that told me some shit.
Yeah, I see. I don't know about him telling you that, so
Yeah,
I know Corvus
but
was there
I'm-
with you.
yeah.
So
the evidence wasn't directly found at the time because I was very good at my job. I noticed inconsistencies and later had a confession from myself, as I was the one acting under my father's direction. Yes, your presence as a duplicate is disturbing. It does lend reinforcement to certain claims. However, I believe he actually looks over to Hevos, who didn't seem to indicate anything, but apparently Talon knew he wanted to speak. Hevos just nods and just goes, there is an oddity here that I want to address. You claim that it is treachery on your part. He looks at Miris. And yet, you forgive him. He looks to her. And you, he looks at Immo, are willing to forgive what happened with her. And he gestures to Cassie. Heinous acts that are being forgiven by those that have had contact with you and are now reinforcing your claims. Do you not see the suspicion here?
absolutely.
Yes.
And perhaps you could explain to me why the unforgivable is forgivable.
Because there's a lot of pain building up over a long time. Hayef finds a way to forgive or try to forgive a lot of people that hurt her.
Hayes actually looking very sadly over at Hevos. Many acted in ways to unforgiveness.
And unfortunately, when we first approached the gods, I guess it was a more adversarial relationship, as we were being courted to work against you initially. And we did not know that Cassie died in the past. And I do not believe that Imor knew that Cassie was the Nephilim that had died on Zaha and killed his prime and those other two angels at the time. And
Zan actually looks at Immo as if to get confirmation for this, and Immo just nods and goes, I was unaware of what she was in that regard, yes. It's only...
And that revelation came later after different things had happened, and a lot of time has passed in the recollection, I would assume, of the god. That
10,000 years. It is enough for some change, perhaps.
And Imor went through a lot of growth of their own perspective, I believe, in the matters of mortal beings over that time. As far as Hea forgiving Miris, in the end, Miris sent Raziel to orchestrate her freedom after everything. And I don't know if that helped at all with forgiving Miris, but I believe she has, in her own way, forgiven Raziel, and she loves him very dearly. And I believe that affection does.
Yeah, Haya actually nods and goes, Miris still has more to make up for. And she actually looks to Miris when she says that. But, yes, I care for his crime, and I am willing to move forward.
I also will point out that after everything that happened, Ea always voted in favor with us to keep fighting to try to save Morgani. She did everything she could to keep us from doing what the initial vote wanted. I voted with her to save Morgani, as I was the Prime of Lawlessel at the time.
Are you suggesting, Morgani's voice goes, that there was a suggestion of a vote otherwise?
Yes.
Yes.
More than a vote.
Yes, we debated whether
sorry,
we should
more
kill
than a
you, dear
suggestion.
sister. Miris actually sort of pipes up.
That's Miris for sure.
And
They agreed that they could not do it because of an agreement where the gods cannot harm each other. And therefore they were trying
I'm
to
so
ply
glad that the
us.
agreement has kept me alive, then.
The ply was that because we were... Just smiles for a second thinking about it. Kind of filthy heathens that were not worthy, but powerful, that we could do it because we were useful for that task. And we refused. As long as we could. And then Gifton gets choked up. She can't talk about it.
And Evos sort of stares at you and goes, then I died.
Yes.
You gave your life to save your daughter.
He sort of just nods his head. It's like, yeah, of course. That that seems only natural. Doesn't even seem particularly surprised by that thought. And he goes, this seems pointless. You can all clearly see the favor that they have on them. The feelings, investment. Even if it is not coming from us. They carry it. They had our trust. Some had our love. Why are we doubting their words? And,
By the way.
yep.
Okay.
And, Morgani is just sort of, actually snaps her jaws and goes, it is more trickery. Isn't that clear? It is a deception. There's great fate weaving, and, Delan actually just, like, taps on the ground with his staff, and she does shut up. And she closes her mouth immediately, as, he just goes, we will not raise our voices, and we will not fall to bickering.
Quirk my head somewhat at that.
And she just seems to like let out a sort of hissed sound through her teeth, but she does settle back. My brother's words ring true. You carry something on you. But we must make sure.
Absolutely.
That's appropriate. May I ask something?
Please.
I... that hat thing. Started giggling.
Sorry, the fact
May I
that
ask a
you.
question?
Yeah.
Yes, you may ask why.
Yeah.
No,
already
I'm
have.
sorry. In fact, you
Oh.
have to unask that question.
Gifted frowns. Wait, may I ask several questions?
Gifton, it's at this point that as you open your mouth to ask a question, Talan puts his hand up and goes, "Forgive me a moment," and an angel appears beside him.
That's what you said.
Bureaucracy is finally worked out.
And he is handed a scroll.
Yes, my scroll got there.
I'm sorry, this needed to be signed into triplicate. You'll have to resubmit.
He
And-
just hands it over to Gifton to sign.
He seems to read over it fairly quickly, and then he just gives you a quizzical look, Gifton. You are here.
Yeah, actually, I have a whole bag of stuff to give you.
I have your loot box.
I don't think I have access anymore. So,
Why did you send me? Wait. Oh,
Oh, did you read it?
yes. And he seems to be focused on a particular part of it, and he's just giving you a look, an appraising look, Gifton.
I didn't say. That was specifically what I was said to not do. And I am not. Mm-mm.
It was the part where you said XO, loves and kisses.
Yeah.
He just nods his head slightly and goes, "This will wait until after the proceedings, yes?"
Yes. Well,
Uh,
my question is separate from that.
Please continue. Forgive me for my interruption.
It was a good interruption. Okay. Glad to know bureaucracy works. You're just saying that. I always had faith. Okay. So,
Amateur arm worshiper now.
Gifted would make a good Talon worshiper. So she's bites her lip a little bit and goes, I am currently carrying more than one god to fruition. Will they at all be considered as part of votes in the future, or will they be kept separate because of their fey nature?
That will be hard to judge until they exist. I cannot promise you anything.
Okay.
However, if the essence of their existence as it has been suggested is true, you know that they are. And for a moment that official sort of like neutral facade drops, and you see a mix of emotions on his face as he just goes, "They are family."
Thank you.
We will, and as quick as it dropped, it returns as he straightens a bit and goes, "We will discuss the fair method of how to position them."
I'm gonna nod. My apologies. Were there further questions we were answering? I may have veered us off course.
Yes, that was unrelated to these proceedings. I think you could,
My great apologies.
I would suppose.
Concerned mother want to know.
I suppose now we cast a vote. Do we believe the matter of Mirris's betrayal? And the gods look like some of them might have already made up their minds. Others seem to have been pondering what you were saying as you were saying it. But almost reluctantly, the first hand to go up is
Mirrors.
no, Mirrors wants to see what happens. Orlan's hand goes up as he just goes, "It is a dishonorable act that he has done, but he's more than capable of it. It is in your nature, is it not, brother?" And he just looks over at Mirris with a sort of disapproving look, And Mirror just shrugs as if, like, you got me. And one by one, various hands start to rise. Of course, the gods that are already in cahoots with you cast their vote in the positive of, yep.
We were playing cahoots.
I like to believe Mirror's votes no.
I
didn't do it.
Mirror doesn't raise a hand, but you might get the feeling that's more like they don't get to vote.
I'm gonna look over at Dadriel.
Yes, Dadriel actually raises his hand, which causes a brief little commotion before Talan just sort of corrects it with, he has the right. In the end, the only hands not raised are Morgani's and Tamari's.
Oh, Tamari believes.
Which Tamari does look deeply upset, just looking at the rest of them. And
Just making sure I'm understanding.
Mhm.
So they're voting. The two of them are voting that he didn't.
yeah, they don't believe that, or they don't believe he's responsible, or whatever it is. They just disagree with the overall vote.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was doing yes and no's correctly because I'm kind of trapped.
And Talana, she looks to them and looks to Morgani and goes, "And to take it to your station it is the Fae that is responsible." And she just nods. And then he looks at Tamari and she goes, "I just don't believe he's capable of it."
I'm gonna smile at her.
Well, Melis, we will deal with the recompense that is owed later, whether she agrees that it is needed or not. It's needed. It's only just. It is only fair. And Tevros nods along with that. And Melis just shrugs and nods. And this brings us to one of the more pressing matters. You have levied accusations of decline of Morgani's mental state.
Yes.
We have heard tales of great tragedy happening where you are from. And frankly, if you were attempting to deceive, claiming that she hadn't acted now, is a terrible way to go about it, which oddly leads some credence to your words. Do you believe her to be of sound mind in this moment?
I do not know. I believe that she feels she is, and I think she is the most reasonable any of us. I motion, except for maybe Raziel, have witnessed her being. I think she is very logical in her mindset, but I do feel that she is feeling a possible pull from something. I believe that she isn't wholly wrong about concern that her interaction with the Fae may have done something to her. But I don't think that it was intention. I think it was something more binding with how
This we
The
have
world
not been
changes.
informed of. Would you elaborate?
I am not sworn not to tell. But she, I believe, and from conversations with her, I believe has kind of confirmed that she entered into a pact with Lord Oberon, Lady Titania, in an attempt to resurrect Lawlessil. And that they were committing various attempts to do so. And I believe that the attempt to wrap that energy back into bringing a god back may have affected her.
You hear some murmuring as he's speaking. You actually, Tamara makes no attempt to like keep her voice quiet. You just hear her go, "Oh, sister," Um,
Or Corvus looks over to Gifton.
In the future time, I purified the remains of Lolasil, which were black, and absorbing any divine energy that came near them. They swallowed my people whole. They tore angels apart. It
They absorbed
was
the death of an archangel.
and other angels as well, and it still hungered, but I purified it. I sang the song that needed to happen, and it became white. Aya saw it.
all of you can see the gritted teeth of Morgani as Guston speaking. She seems to be struggling with something until she actually sort of roars out, "How could she succeed where I failed?" Talon sort of gives her a sympathetic but disapproving look.
I never knew then that Morgani had ever done anything for Lolasil. All I had was visions and the heaven of Lolasil that reformed. The White Towers formed in the Feywild and started to calm the madness that swarmed into the Fey mines. Oberon became himself again. He was Gabriel. And Titania, she remembered when we resurrected her. We brought her back, and she was Taniel, and there were so many of them that were healing, and you could hear the song. There was a song that played in Lolasil's heaven, and I saw Lolasil, and she looks her head down. The last time I spoke of that, you all became very angry with me. I will avoid that topic.
You speak on matters that are raw for us. But we knew we would be confronting these feelings coming into this meeting.
Out of character, just because I don't want to pipe up and
Mhm.
have all of us seen the towers now in our trips in the Feywild?
Don't.
We've been in like mist clouds with us.
Yeah, I don't
Younging
think
waterfall.
Gifton's taking you near.
I
Okay.
have never gone to one of the towers.
Yeah.
I've only seen them in
You've
my
been
visions.
shown them, yeah.
Yeah.
None of us have
I've seen them in
these
visions.
Yeah.
towers.
I've never
Yeah,
seen them.
I
Really.
don't believe so. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to check so I didn't want to open mouth and go like I have seen them also, and when we haven't. So I wanted to double
Accidentally
check.
lie. Yeah.
Well, at that point, I'd be going, okay, player is dumb.
Titania and Oberon are unable to speak of the pact they made with Morgani because it was a thrice sworn pact. It goes on to become one of the most sacred things in the Feywild. No one understands or knows where it started. We just know that if you make a swear of 3, it is unbreakable. And I did not know that was from Morgani until recently.
You always find ways
But
to work
they-
around it.
We are pretty clever like that.
She just seems to be sort of seething softly to herself.
But I believe that you gods are more likely to be able to help your sister, and of course we are. But we have one other. Gifton frowns. Concern because the people of her land, you've already probably heard about what it was like in our future.
A war on a scale that we have not seen.
Even before that.
Our people captured and burned the Fae but make lights in their homes warm. And the strike on Loril that brought the black crystals and the creatures of the empty that her people wrought.
Mayuri actually sort of looks over to Morgani and she just goes, "This is true. Would not have allowed these things, sister, if you wouldn't allow them now, would you?" And Morgani slowly shakes her head. "Why would you allow them then? We all agreed that those that fell were to be taken care of." And she looks to Mirrors as she says that. "To let them be used as fuel." And then her face goes a little pale, as if there's a sudden bit of self-reflection there. And she falls silent. Long
I
closes his eyes.
These are things that have not come to pass. And she is not guilty of anything. I am only worried for her safety. I am worried because I have known so many great and intelligent people of Hexenreich, a nation she has not yet seen born on her land, who strive for knowledge and push the boundaries beyond what we know every waking moment because they are brilliant. But when they press into the unknown, they know not what could happen. And they feel they're prepared for everything. And sometimes they are. So many times they are. They're right. But the time they aren't, and they're alone, that's when I see the worst happen. And I think that perhaps, and I'm sorry to say this, that Morgani in her grief feels she must handle this alone. She feels that she may be the only one that can save her sister, and that she would not trouble the rest of you in your grief. So she would do it alone, and when trouble would arise, she'd fix it for herself. Because why wouldn't she? She's amazing. But we can't prepare for things we don't know about.
Theron seems to look over at Morgani as if looking for some indication or another from her. You don't know what. But she's just sort of not looking down, but just she seems to have her sight fixed in just a random space. And he sort of looks to you and goes, "If her affliction is as you say, can you offer solution or only accusation of her state?"
I have possible solutions, but
We have possible solutions.
yes.
Then I would like you all to make a final statement for this meeting. We must discuss this further.
Of course.
Each of you may take in turn, please.
Steven's gonna hold Dingus out.
Dingus will... You'll all get this. Dingus just flashes, "Want to save the pretty lady."
Oh.
So basically,
Mari
they're
is
just asking
momentarily-
what we're seeking in this part.
They just gave you the opportunity to make a final statement for this discussion, yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was hearing correctly.
If you want to go like Baba Booey, go ahead.
Baba booey.
No, thank you.
I want to do what my people's goddess wanted. She wanted to protect her people and love her siblings. And I wish to carry that goodwill forward and offer aid in any way I can.
I wish to help Morgani. I have seen firsthand what is wrought from what could be. There are so few of us left in our timeline. And I could not stand to see that happen again. I was the voice that wished to avoid killing Morgani. I was the first in our group to say I wish to save her. And I still stand to protect Morgani and help her.
Okay. Who's next?
Echo.
Yeah, sure.
Let the infant.
Echo's just gonna go. This world's really swell. I like it. And these people are really nice and kind, so they do good things. And she just nods.
Honestly, it's the best endorsement we've gotten.
Well, especially since I'm pretty sure they all know exactly who she is.
I don't think they do. She was a
They
hidden.
know.
Maris
They
locked
know-
her away in secret. Remember,
they
she was
know-
the secret.
They
Well,
know
please.
she's young, but they don't understand why.
I'm sure they know that's an empty thing, just like Corvus is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Is
the
they
thing is
know
that-
there's.
Yeah.
They know she is a odd entity. They might not be
Odd
fully aware of
entity.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they could tell she was not from.
Maris
Here.
is sitting there going, "Why are you guys packing that around?"
I believe that at this point in time, something can be done to help the troubles that Morgani is in. I surmise that she saw something or found something out unknowingly, and in our time had ravaged her in her psyche. With us here and with us now and what we know and what we have, we hope that we can alleviate that before things turn very bad. And bring a better life for a lot of people and more time for a lot of people. Because where we've came from, I believe everything that has culminated to from our departure, there is an ending of time. Things that you all know about. And I hope you consider that in your decisions, that it probably goes beyond what we all know to be our realities. Corvus turns and looks at Gifton and just kind of nods.
Totally. Archie, Cassie.
Archie will step up and just look and go, "We just want to try and do what's best. Like, we don't want to hurt anyone. We don't want to break anything, but we want to try and make it so as many people from here until when we're from have the potential to live their lives and actually live them and not have all this tragedy that extends so far back from everything that happened."
Okay. Cassie.
Cass is just going to look. Cass is going to look up. In a time that doesn't exist anymore, we made a promise to try and save Morgani. We looked into various ways, and none sat right. And then we found a way to make the past, the present, and multiple futures coincide. So we took the opportunity that would provide the best outcome for everyone, despite some grievances and dislikes of what has happened. I cannot fault what has happened in the future to a person who is innocent of those acts. So I will do what I can in my power to help her. I made a promise to save Morgani. We're doing that, and I will continue to try to do that.
Howdy.
Thank you, first of all, for letting us speak to you. But all of us, have spent years, all of my existence really, trying to do what was best to help people. Actually, there's probably another me out here right now, but we have been trying to save as many people as possible. We've been trying to save Morgani's people, as many of them as we could. And we were presented an opportunity to save more, and it is incumbent upon us to do all we can to help those who cannot help themselves, to avoid tragedy where it is unnecessary, to save all, even you gods, if it is required. Is that not the same for you?
You're met with silence, but attentive silence. Words clearly reaching them. And even though it looks like he wasn't expecting to speak, the gesture still goes to Raziel, who looks as up, taken back, his eyes flickering back and forth briefly before he just goes, I stand amongst a group who I know, even with their own flaws, to be good and true, because they are so unlike me. I share their vision, and it would be a lie to say it was entirely out of the goodness that they display. For me, there is selfishness of wanting to undone acts that I will never forget. But it is a second chance, not just for me, but for so many of you as well. Let them save you, like they did me. He just nods. And
Just gonna flip her wings out really quick and fly over and hug Raz.
and ta-da. Ta-da. When you do that, ta-da actually just goes, not to roll your session, please. Before just
You're
tap,
gonna land back on the ground.
and he then just taps his staff on the ground and goes, we will adjourn to discuss this amongst ourselves. Your words have been heard. If we have further questions, we shall reach out to you. If you have further statements to add, you may contact us. You know the methods. We will speak again. And with that, I would like each one of you to make me a persuasion roll.
I'm gonna spend another one of my cards. So I'm just gonna roll an advantage and then I'll find the card after. Ding. The ding. Ding. And then I'm rolling my wheel.
I'm using that card. I just
Yeah! 36!
I'm just automatically going to add my Boon of Luck in, so I'm going to add a D10 to my roll.
Mhm.
So we will hit Persuasion.
Hey, Sam.
Hmm?
You hit performance.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
No, it's not. Let me check the bonus. All right, so the bonus is gonna be. It is 6
40
less, so it's exactly 30
Okay.
So
on that roll.
I got a 40.
Because my persuasion is a 11 and my performance is a 17. So
Okay.
so it's a 6 less,
Okay.
so I'm exactly 30. Unless you want me to
Alright.
reroll it.
No, I'm good with just modifying the thing based on your stats.
all right.
Who's still?
It's me.
They.
Sorry.
Bye bye.
I was trying to scroll. It was just taking.
I'm
being
going
slow.
to fate RG. RG, take 2 more on your roll.
Okay, so 19. Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, it
That
makes
was better.
sense.
Yeah.
That's all my tricks I can.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
If I could have bardicked, I would have, but
I mean, I
I
could
don't
totally.
know how.
Towday, sing us a song in your hurdy-gurdy. Come on.
Sing
Morgana would probably start going, see, trickery.
Sing
Yeah,
us
I-
the
so-
song of the dragon
This is-
gal.
Wait. I'm gonna ask it, but I'm of course. What about Raz and?
I'm not doing
Raz
that.
cheats.
Yeah.
Raz cheats.
Okay.
Raz is an automatic cheat, but also
Listen,
probably has
some
disadvantage
things I
somehow.
get to know myself.
Oh,
No,
no,
we must know all of the things.
Oh, I wasn't gonna. I was.
Oh, fucking dingus. Roll dingus for me. Go on.
I was not.
No, don't make me do this. I have to open another character. God damn it.
Don't
I was
roll
actually expecting you
dingus.
to
He's
roll
a
it
sweet,
and wait.
adorable, fragile baby.
I don't think it's fair, but I.
Hey!
Holy fucking shit!
Look at him! Special boy!
Motherfucking 20 on our boy!
Look at the special boy.
Oh,
The
I wish I
romance
could give
begins.
him- I wish
Um,
I could give him a wheel as well, but I can't.
What's that go at? Just a D20?
I already know Echo's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Yeah, no. Like I said, I wasn't expecting you to roll. Raz. I
Dingus
was just
actually
seeing
had a
Raz
character
in
sheet. Holy
this.
shit.
So.
Okay. With that, Talon just sort of gives you an acknowledging nod, and then with a tap of the staff, you find yourselves back in your little Saharan home.
I'm gonna put my ring back on. I'm gonna go over and hug Dadriel. I'm gonna hug Graziel. And I'm gonna take it.
I do have to admit, I am curious about if it's just because you are tied to her that you're able to purify the bones. If there was something else, a little bit. Not willing to do anything to find out, but I am curious because
It is possible that Morgani had done much, but it just required continued effort or more.
yes.
I will say when we time traveled that one time, though, it was already purified when we went back, so it's weird.
Wonder if it is here. Surely they would have
Well,
noticed.
We know the Fae
Has some
there's some
transcendental
type of-
properties.
Yes, I wonder if that's
Maybe because I'm here now, it would be. Maybe it wasn't because I wasn't here.
God, perhaps.
Maybe it's like some sort of weird fey causality, right? Should we go look?
I don't think we should go anywhere with
Oh,
the goon squad in the
After
area.
this, yes, we now have confirmation that Sphinx lot are here.
Oh, I have no doubt they're already plotting to try something.
Honestly, I would
I
wish to parley with them, but
Oh, we
we will wait for that later.
It's worth doing, if only
Once
to
it's
keep
posted.
our own image intact.
Corvus
Yeah.
takes
Well-
2 glasses out of his bag. Does anyone have other glasses? I have potion vials, but I don't think you want to drink out of some.
I have a cup.
Are we
two.
celebrating?
Well, we're just going to have a drink to settle our nerves. How about that?
It's a fine idea.
I do not drink.
Well,
It's a good time to start.
It's yes. It's a
I
good
did.
Aw, does this mean
I
I'm gonna go
stopped.
see Ellen? I'm gonna pray and
Wait,
go. Ellen, it was really
Gifton,
nice to see
you cannot drink. We'll give you juice.
I want to drink.
You're getting
Oh.
juice.
Gifton's
Doctor's
prayer is
orders.
getting interrupted with her actually arguing. But why can't I have alcohol?
Cause you're pregnant.
Don't interrupt me when I'm praying, Ellen.
I've been told that it is good for brownie children.
One
These are-
thing.
Have you seen what happens when
Uh,
they don't
Gifton.
drink?
Angel radio alights with sound of a prime telling you the Wildfather will see you as soon as he is available.
Yay!
Oh no, you just got his secretary.
I got a secretary. Yay!
I don't know why, but I could see all the angels just stopping, looking at Gifton, going, "Ooh, you got in trouble."
There is also a sudden moment where Haya appears for a brief second by you all with Millie. Apologetic look on her face and goes, "Sorry, you almost forgot." And then she's gone again.
Wow, that would have been interesting for Millie.
Millie just hanging out in the temple.
Hi, Millie.
What? Millie's like a little shaking, not quite. There's just a slight unsteadiness of she's suddenly somewhere.
Millie, allow me to show you an interesting piece of technology.
What?
I'm going to put my hand on the food dispenser. Then I'm going to think of a
do that.
muffin.
Don't traumatize the baker.
Oh, you're right.
What?
I should think of something other than a muffin.
Yes.
One thing.
You can only make food. You can only make food.
All that's coming into my head is baked goods right now.
Okay, please select the baked goods, Tilde.
Muffin, definitely a muffin.
Alright, Gifton's gonna take out her bottle with the flour on top, and then she's gonna whisper sweetly to it and give it a little kiss.
It will
And,
unfurl and uncork itself for you.
And I'm gonna start pouring into my own
Wait,
cup.
is that how those
Well,
open?
yeah, you just talk to it really sweet and give it a little kiss.
God.
It's really sweet.
I've
Let's it
just
go.
been holding on to mine until I figured out
It
how
needs
to
a
open
little bit of blood to stay alive because it's a sweet little thing, and she prick her finger on it on purpose.
It seems
But-
happy, you think?
Yeah.
You might just be imagining it, but hey.
It's a magic flower. What? You probably hurt the poor thing.
That was delicate enough. I am a surgeon.
You cut things.
Blink.
Yes, delicately.
I don't want to be delicately cut. I want to pour some into Raziel's cup.
Raziel will take some and happily his drink. And he just sort of actually raises his little tin cup for a second and just goes, "Well, to forward progress, we hope."
Yep.
We're not
progress.
Indeed.
I realized
I'm
we
hugging
went
Millie, just like apologizing still.
One thing for the
shopping earlier, and I have an entire bag full of rugs and furnishings and stuff like that from past Saha that we already bought. Glad we only bought
You
beds
asked
earlier.
for more furniture.
No, I needed a bed. I didn't have a bed.
You need
a bed.
dishes.
Oh, well, that's a problem. We eat canned food. It's fine.
just as,
There is no canned food right now.
No, hand food.
Canned
Things
food.
you eat with your hand.
as
know,
a note
like
on
bacon.
the
Want a piece of bacon,
earlier
Cassie?
comment about the Sphinx Guard
Want a piece of bacon?
Sphinx initiative.
Yes.
Oh, bacon.
All right, I'm
That's a good
gonna
idea.
get-
Enough
my
about
bacon
baked
out of
goods.
my-
What is it,
Big
Carrick?
bacon bag.
I have a feeling that they are not going to be doing anything until the gods intervene us, because I don't think they want to risk that attention.
As much
if
as
were
they
to do
are our
something.
position, I think they probably do want to do this as peacefully as possible.
So I don't.
Not that I doubt they won't strike us if they need to.
But I think at this point they're not going to attempt, because eyes are upon us, so to speak.
Gonna offer Cassie a nibble from the bacon bag of rice and chocolate and the various assorted seeds.
Bacon bag.
However, with any luck, the gods are going to be cemented down in our corner with this discussion. At most, they might suggest we actually owe them some recompense or another, but I doubt it will change their course.
Oh man, am I gonna be stuck like for the rest of my life, like sweeping somebody's temple? Is that what it is?
doubt
And we
it.
might like that.
The
So-
greatest possibility that they claim to travel potentially.
Something I want to bring
But that
up.
would prevent
Yes.
us from doing.
I didn't want to bring it up in our council up there with the gods, but when we all went to speak of our secrets, before the secrets were exchanged, Morgani leaned down and said, "Do you hear the whispering as well?"
Yeah. We know she's
Yeah.
always been connected to the empty.
Right, and we've heard the turnaround and everything like that. She's
I think the turnaround was Miras kind of just effing with us, to be
I
honest.
hate that it is, but the thing is that if the empty or whatever the dreamer is whispering to Morgani or whatever he looks at Carrick, the truths are, I think that may be the reason for the down spiral.
Well, I mean, that's part of it, right? Because you see, the Fae are more part of the physical world than the rest of the gods and things are. Because the Fae were just divinity and we just fell. And that's what the corruption is the touch of, like, I think, reality on
Reality.
us.
Yes.
And so that is just branching into her, and she'd be more susceptible to it because, yeah, she's, tied.
And she did whatever she did with Ladasil, ripping something open, potentially.
Always rip and tear.
Inadvertently, but
Rip and tear. She was probably being very informed.
Perhaps we can get her to agree
Like a
to
surgeon, perhaps.
release her pact with the other two.
Angels. And we could find out what the hell they did.
Yes.
That would
I'm
be nice.
thinking when
because
they
that
did what
that
they
would be
did,
the first thing to potentially heal, would be whatever that was. And whatever, I hate to say the word, the truth behind whatever veil they put over it.
What do you think, Cassie?
I think possibly, just from all the little stories and whatnot, I think when Morgani did what she did, she saw what I saw and what I can't remember. Because immortal little mind, immortal little soul, that's something horrible in there. Her being is more capable of understanding it and making sense of it. But if if my mind is rejecting it and I can't remember it, even though I was awake, I think, the entire time I was in there. Imagine going over that, what you saw, the horrors, the nightmares, the terrors, whatever's in there, over and over and over and over for thousands upon thousands of years. That would be caustic to the mind.
I mean,
And-
how do you know it's actually a bad thing? For all you know, that, like, it could have been that the 2 times that Mirish brought you out, he wiped your mind. Magic can do that.
Yeah, but I still have feelings about that.
It might just be the
Yeah,
color
but-
Bruges.
Bruges. Somewhere between brown and sad.
Was that
Raz, yeah.
is that actually, wait, I speak the language he does. Is that actually a word in
I don't think it's a word in any language.
Nope.
I'm just making sure before I make this. Like, where did you I don't even know if I can follow that.
Well,
Well, it's just
Why-
like
Word just
reading-
broke my mind.
It's
So-
just like reading the notes or looking at through the glass. Even with us, like you say, Cass, we are simple mortals, but we are small, insignificant pieces of what they are, and just looking at notes made me and Saxon a bit.
woo,
Yes.
DuckTales.
I think the term is cray cray.
Yes,
So-
based on her
That is
exposure
not
to things.
the medical definition.
SS
of it, but,
speaking, Telday. You're getting a message.
This is for you, sir.
Sound of Felder in your head. I'm going, whenever you're all available, let me know and I'll get you portaled over here. We're set up and the celebration's beginning.
Oh,
right.
yes.
Oh.
We will have to table this discussion for another time. It is
No.
You think
time
this is
for the
awesome?
celebration.
All right.
No, I'm going to say that to
Hey,
everybody else.
How much of those Memorian songs did you learn? Yeah, I'm gonna try and pep it up a bit.
I will do my best to follow along.
I will make a brief stop at Traveler then.
Download.
Actually, there's a couple of really jamming songs that were on the little black box.
The little black box.
Oh, the thing that you thought was going to explode.
Me and Raziel love that box.
Oh,
It is a good box.
Never mind.
It is a good box.
Felda, we will be there momentarily. As soon as possible.
Head over there. I mean, it's literally in the same building, so or right in the courtyard. So we'll just walk outside. Millie, are you coming to the party? Oh, I gotta get the family. Kids!
Sure.
You would be quite welcome. Have a muffin.
Right.
I don't know why I'm still holding this.
Thank you. What is this? She's giving up. She's giving up. She's just gonna eat the muffin. She's gonna eat her feelings of confusion away.
Good girl. That's the point.
Yeah. Alright. If you want to head out into the courtyard,
People want to go.
you can get your family and so on. There are like very little people around. You realize, like from Traveler. And
they're brownies.
And when you head out into the courtyard, it sort of becomes obvious as beside Traveler, you see Felda standing by what looks like to be an established portal.
Everybody's on the other side.
Mm-hmm. And she smiles a bit and goes, "Most are actually already there. Can't hold this forever, so if you have things to attend, do make it snappy."
I was supposed to learn a couple songs for this, but we just got out of a god meeting, so that's not happening. I'm just gonna go through the portal. I'm not gonna make you hold it for that long.
Going to duck really quickly into Traveler and be like, "Traveler,
Yes.
do you have sheet music for these songs?
Yes.
Can I have it?"
Yes.
There.
They display on the screens.
Yes, we have no way to write this down in a hurry.
You
Pulling
know
out my book from my bag.
You know who has a ream of A4 paper?
Mm-hmm.
Carrick.
Yeah, but I've got book. I can do
You're
quick.
gonna leave me that A4
Just
paper,
scribble
right?
really
This
quick.
paper's expensive in the past.
Yep. I'm just
Okay.
trying to get the basics.
And this is the tempo. Okay, general notes. Got it. Go.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. And you all head out through the portal. Felda coming behind as innuendo. You arrive in what seems to be an oasis. There are a whole bunch of pavilion-style tents set up, blankets laid out. This just seemed to be an oasis in the middle of nowhere.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yep.
These things.
Clearly still in Sahar, but where in Sahar you're not sure. Already there is a little bit of music going. A few of the undead are playing instruments that aren't woodwind. And
She's gonna run over there and start playing a trumpet that she's gonna borrow from Echo.
okay, yeah, you can take Echo's trumpet.
I'm gonna try and mariachi band this shit up with somebody. I have a vague idea what that's like, and I'm going for it.
And yes, as you join in the celebrations of Lufa and Harcount deaths, morbidly enough, that is where we're going to end this week's session.
Yeah. Oh.
Because I need to rest my throat. Holy shit.
Okay.
Thank you for running.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for running.
3,000 experience points each.
3.
3,000 experience points
Minus
each.
several piety.
each
Negative
of
piety all
you,
around the report.
each of you may take one piety with each of the gods, including Morgani.
Positive
Negative
Morgani.
Or, oops, no, wrong way. I put one to -6 accidentally.
So 1 piety for each god.
Except for you,
Oh,
RG. You
God.
do not get Morganis, I'm afraid.
I'm not.
Oh,
Wait, so
Oh.
Faye wasn't involved there.
Faye,
No
Faye,
piety.
Faye, yeah, Faye is not a god.
Yeah, Faye is not a god. And actually,
Is
Gibson,
Yelmir's-
you're not going to get the Morgani piety either, I have to afraidly say.
Yeah,
She
it's okay.
doesn't
Yeah.
like Faye.
It's fair. It's
Yeah.
fair.
I'm getting
Well, do I get the
uncomfortably
Morgani
high.
piety?
Yes.
Because kind of Faye.
No, you get it.
You're not
I'm
fake.
getting uncomfortably high on Heya.
Congratulations.
How high in Heya are you?
Well, I'm 13. It keeps on climbing, and I'm not
15.
comfortable.
Oh, nothing.
You're only 101 under me.
I know.
I'm
I
at
get the
15.
experience from
You're the
last week?
patron dragon.
Yes, you
of
get the experience from last week.
continent.
That was probably 3,000
It
as well.
was, yes.
Yep.
Oh, is that
How
the
many-
week
I need-
you weren't there?
And
Which
Are
would
we
be 2
still
weeks
recording?
ago. But
We are going to end now.